What is a ghost mall? A ghost mall is empty retail space that cannot be filled due to an over-leveraged environment. What is being over-leveraged? Being over-leveraged is when you have paid for your retail space by borrowing money against the property to pay for that space. Now that we have those two questions answered, let's take a look at Mountain Home, Idaho, here in the USA. That town itself is one large ghost mall, as many of the small businesses that existed at one point no longer do so due to the biggest retail corporatist corporation of the land crushing competition, Walmart. To explain what empty stores look like, let's look at the same town. Smaller businesses cannot compete with bigger businesses when the financing of commercial properties are more than what the business itself can afford to pay. With some of the bigger corporations, you tend to have artificially lower prices for the customers so that they can generate a profit margin. The reason why the smaller businesses cannot stay in business is primarily that those who own them still have to pay their bills involving operating the business, as well as their personal expenses to live off of that business. Whereas the bigger corporations can pay their employees less, increasing their profit margin while providing cheaper goods and services to those customers that desire cheap products. I know it is kind of simplistic, but that is the only way I can attempt to explain it in layman's terms. Even though a solution is probably not going to be found to this problem, since people in government pretend like they want to solve it, the best way to solve the issue of small business competing with the big corporations is not to save either of them when they make financial mistakes. Also, for the people who buy goods and services to buy them within their own states. Which brings up a stark reality to the situation faced in the major cities. With storefronts closing down, the major cities as we know them will start to look like Mountain Home, Idaho, where you will face empty storefronts and soon a lack of supplies when price controls will eventually be introduced to the economic landscape. How do you prepare for a lack of jobs that will impact big city areas as empty storefronts would in Mountain Home? I suggest that you prepare yourself, along with your family, to have less than what previous generations of your family once had. I would also, for the sake of your mind, with some cases your soul, to stop watching TV news and start reading more. Stop watching idiotic shows like Family Guy, looking out for your own survival and your family's survival. American Idol does not matter. Reality TV does not matter. And most importantly, celebrities do not matter. For Got Consent Podcast, I'm Mark Reinhardt.